Alright, so it's been a little while. Been fixing stuff, been not fixing stuff. I have some footage on my laptop that I think I've lost. So there might be a couple episodes that I've recorded that you may or may not see. So this is probably coming out of sequence. But I have this thing called ADHD.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on ADHD.
You might be familiar. And there's a problem with ADHD called task paralysis. If you know anything about task paralysis, you can very easily see why. But I haven't edited the last footage, and I kind of want to record it when I fix it has kept me from fixing games. So I decided I'm just going to record this and fix some games. I'm going to give you a little tour before we start. Full disclosure, I already fixed Gauntlet. You'll be seeing that back half of this video. So here's the tour of all of our dirty secrets. Area 51 Site 4, bad hard drive, rolling reboots. House of the Dead 2. Player 2 gun isn't working. I don't know why. It's actually tested. I'm only finding out about this recently. No idea why this is broken. Probably doesn't track. It's a common problem, especially when the end here. See if I can get a good glare on that for you. The end can get nicked and scratched. And what happens is it doesn't track. Oh, this isn't tracking like at all. Okay, so this is probably a wiring issue with the gun, or it's completely fried. These guns are $800 a piece. Hopefully I can fix it, but that's a future video. As far as I know, everything's fine with Money Puzzle. Everything's fine with Daytona. Bad Dude still needs a control panel. It's all kind of janky. This control panel really needs to be replaced. My Michael Jackson Moonwalker Neo Geo Samurai Showdown Dragon Ball Z Super Battle is still that. It will be a Moonwalker again one day. I don't know when, but one day. I fixed that. This is the star of today's video. We'll be jumping into that one. Everything's fine here, everything's fine here, everything's fine here, everything's fine here. Some days Fast and Furious doesn't like to turn on, so that one's fun. Looks like Need for Speed turned on today. It does the same thing. Crazy Taxi's working just fine today. Everything over here. And then we've been working on our Hydro Thunders. Number 3 works, but the monitor doesn't. Number 4 doesn't work. It likes to crash. I think it has something to do with the Diego board. That'll be probably the next video will be me fixing the Diego board. So I need to fix the monitor on 3. That should be fairly easy. I still can't get all the dang lights to work right on these things, but whatever. Everything over here seems to be fine. Frogger had a pretty bad buzz. Might be able to hear it. We fixed most of that. Frogger's going to get a new control panel soon. This joystick has seen better days, and I have the artwork for a new control panel, so that'll happen at some point. My Galaxian monitor still looks as awful as it did like 8 years ago. It's exactly as bad as it always has been for me. It's amazing that it's been so stable for being so busted. Robotron keeps dumping settings. This game has a problem where it wants quarters right now. I put in the NV RAM kit. I put in the Vector some odd, I forget what it is, the aftermarket power supply. Still dump settings. Unfortunate. And then UN Squadron monitor is out. It's been out for about a month now. I just haven't quite gotten to it. It used to be the monitor in Ninja Gaiden. So we switched them to see if the problem migrated. It did. We did a cap kit on it. That did not solve the problem. Some days this game turns on, some days it doesn't. This is a Wells Gardner K4700. I'm probably wrong on that. It's one of their later 19-inch digital-ish K7000 series chassis. It does like a digital sync, so this is a sync drop. So the manual specifies the 5 or so components that could cause that, so it's probably going to be not that bad. We'll get that one fixed at some point as well. Aside from that, all the Legends working great. Jurassic Park's working great. Got 2 new guns in this guy. This guy's working pretty good. Virtual Cop, Carnival King, which is actually a lot of fun. Still got my Max 51 Duo working great. The paint job I did on the yellow gun is seen better days. It looks like the primer was better than the paint. I don't know why I felt this gun had to be yellow. I guess because the start button's yellow. All the graphics in the game have it as red. When I was putting these guns together, I have so many extra gun shells, I figured, let's try a yellow one. We'll see how well the paint holds up. Not the greatest. It's all right. These I also painted. These are UV green. I felt like with all my other light gun games, more colored guns would be cooler. So I did these in UV green, because I can. And they're just half guns. There's nothing special about them. Yeah. So with that, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut to the part here where I decide to... We're going to go ahead and cut to the part where I decide to fix Gauntlet, record some footage, so next time you see me, we'll be fixing my Gauntlet arcade. See ya! Going to fix Gauntlet now. Alrighty. Let's see if we can fix it again. With our Gauntlet once again. We've got a RAM error somewhere. It's all over the place. So what we're going to do is we already replaced 2 of these. We're going to go ahead and pull the rest of them. Just replace all of them. Actually can't quite do all of them. I'm missing 2. I'm too short of replacing all of them. So we're going to hope that the 2 we leave are good. To be fair, all of these are probably fine. It's probably a socket. These sockets go bad all the time. I don't really feel like replacing them quite yet. This game is reliable enough that if it is a problem with a socket, instead of replacing the socket, I'm probably just going to solder the chips right into the board. This is not something that we would... ordinarily do, because normally a socket makes something more serviceable, but these RAMs are supposed to be rock solid, so if they're soldered right in, we're not going to have any issues. And luckily Gauntlet has a pretty good documentation as to which RAM is bad, so normally you don't have to do a big troubleshooting. You already know which one's bad before you start. Now you may be asking yourself, well, if I know which one's bad before I start, why am I pulling all of them? And the answer is because, well, I yanked it out of the game before I went into test mode to check. Because I am a genius. And I've decided to make life harder for myself. So I'm just doing all of them. Because I don't feel like walking back out to the arcade. The real answer is because I've already done this once. And, these sockets can't be trusted at this point, so any sort of error I have now, even if I just play whack-a-mole with that one error, I'm going to end up back out there doing it again next week anyways. I think when I had my buddy over, he replaced the two that were the problem, and the game ran for 3 days before one of the other ones freaked out. So here we are. This is the process. Doesn't take that long when you have the right tools. I'm spraying the sockets down with BW100 contact cleaner. This stuff is the bomb. It works great. I am a little curious though why I ordered, I thought I needed 6 of these, so I ordered 10 to be safe. Turns out there's 12. So I'm sure if I reference the manual, I'll find out that some of these RAM is used for like game logic and some's used for like playfield stuff, so I could probably narrow it down into like one half or the other pretty readily. I wish I ordered more of these chips. They weren't that expensive. I'm actually putting the chips in that the manual specifies. The ones that were in here were some sort of retrofit. So these have actually been replaced before. I'm going to pull the 2 that we replaced the other day, switch them. This way, if I have a different problem, I know the problems with these 2. Well, I guess not really, because I also replaced all the other ones. I also already forget which one's which. I may have already messed that up. So if you rewind that video, you'll know if I managed to switch these around or not. And I have no idea. I am definitely going to switch these. Pull the 2 that we replaced. This way, if I have a different problem, I have a problem with these 2. I'm definitely going to switch these 2. These are the only 2 I'm not replacing. I am choosing them arbitrarily as the ones closest to me and easiest to work on. So that's fun. Alright. So, clean that, clean that. I have this sponge up here. Here we go. It's a very special pin contact spongy do, and I guess it doesn't fit these size, so we're just gonna. This is like an eraser for cleaning contacts on chips. I know I get better than I work. I have it, so I'm gonna use it. A lot of contact cleaner on these. Put it back in the right direction. I did switch that, right? See, I don't even know. I lost track of which one was which. The ADHD is strong with this one. If it's not important, it leaves my brain immediately. And if it is important, it leaves even faster than that. Ain't that right, Austin?
Can confirm.
Can confirm. That's my associate that doesn't do internet stuff, so. But he does do Rip on Greg stuff. So, every now and then we can get him to participate in that at least. The other question is, do I feel like pulling these other chips and cleaning them while I'm here? Maybe game ROMs? What's these? You know, the smart thing to do is to just test it the way it is, and if there's still a problem, double check the test mode, and then come back for the 2 RAMs I didn't replace, or check the game ROMs. If I do it now and I have a problem, I won't know if it's because I pulled these ROMs and induced a problem while also having fixed the previous issue, or if I just didn't fix the previous issue. There's a strong temptation just to do it while I have it on the bench, but I'm going to go take the time to hook this back into the game. Yeah. All right, let's go do that. Okay, so this slides right in there like that. And then you take your very sophisticated standoff screw. In my case, it's a wood screw. To hold one corner. Just like that. Put it in at least like 2 or 3 turns. And we'll go for 0 ugga-duggas on the ugga-dugga gun on that one. You do not want that tight. Alright, let's see, which one of these is which? I made all these connectors about a year ago, and I keyed them all, knowing that future me wouldn't remember where they all go. So I didn't have to key them to match the factory keying, but I did. And if I didn't, I would be messed up right now. The only ones that aren't keyed, if I remember correctly, are the player controls, because they were not keyed from the factory, and also it's a great way to troubleshoot things by moving the connectors around, so I ain't too worried about that one. They are keyed so they only fit in the player connectors though. Alright, we got our big honking power supply connector. We got our sound/credit connector. That's a strange way for them to have done that. I think a previous video from like last year talked about that. They use the sound and all the high voltage for the coin lockouts are all on that board, and for some reason that's also where they put the test switch, probably because it's where the volume knob is. So that actually takes I think it takes 110 in somewhere, does like 24 volt DC out, and it's used to run the lockout coils on the coin mechs. That's the thing that when the game is off, it doesn't take your money. I never hooked all that up because this is on free play. One day I will. I believe that's what I left these connectors for right here. And I just made it easy for myself. I knew that running 110 into this board is something that I wasn't going to casually explore. So I skipped it until I was going to come back to it. It's been a year.
2,000 years later.
That's about that. Let's go ahead and power this thing back up, see if we fix it. Whoo-wee.
It was at this moment that he knew.
So we made that worse. We made that a lot worse. Interesting. Let's go to test mode. Playfield RAM error at 9,000. 9,900,000. Okay, well, we'll go off of that. Reference my manual. Alright, she back. I referred to the manual. I know, right? Manuals? Electronics? Who does that anymore? I'm just going to show you on my phone screen if you can see that. It says it comes up, it looks like that, which it did. You can go to the locations. I remember it was 900,000, so that's our first table. So that means it's going to be 6D, 7D, 6J, or 7J. And the difference is where the read versus wrote characters are different. I forgot to note it. It's in this footage. I don't feel like pulling it up. But it's either 6D, 7D, 6J, or 7J. I believe it was trying to write 0000, and it was reading 00 something something. So it's the last 2 characters. So it might be 6J or 7J. We're going to check all 4 of those. Let's see which ones those are. Here. Alright, so we got, which one's 6 and 7? So this is row 6, this is row 7. And we're checking for 6 and 7, D and J. So D is the second one, and J is this one? Yeah, J. So it's D and J. That's an interesting set of 4. And these are all Playfield, these are Playfield ROMs. Okay. I want to say this is the one that I was told was bad before. That would be 6D, which would be the first character bad in that message. You know, I'm going to go look at that footage and see which one it was. Cannot access camera files while recording. Well, shoot. Okay. It was read 0000 write 6,000/7,000. It was flickering back and forth, so it was the first character. So the first character being bad, according to the manual, indicates this one's bad, which is one that we already replaced. And then I may have switched it with the other one, so I'm not sure. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this one. Alright, so that was 6D, right? If it was 6J, it would have been this one. So those are part of the same function. So we're going to switch these two. That way, if that chip is bad, it'll just move. If you switch the RAMs between different functionality types on the board, so to speak, it might start doing completely different things. So this is just playfield RAM. So we're going to do that. We're just going to switch them. See if that does it. It's probably a bad socket. This socket here probably just sucks. Matter of fact, let's take a good look at that. Yeah. Excellent cinematography, right? Just bring it right out of view there. I'm looking at it right now, not you. You don't get to see it YouTube / Insta-thing. Oh, that's the backside right there. That row. All those pins look good. I don't see any problem with them. Alright, let's go see if my problem migrated from 6D to 6J. See, I'm paying attention now. We got video connector, we got power connector, we got auxiliary, point input /sound /output connector, and we got player 1. There we go. It's an F0. So our problem moved. It shipped me a bad RAM. So I'll put one of the old ones back in it that's probably good. Move on to my life. I'm going to skip recording that part. Okay, I'm back. We switched it. I ended up putting a new RAM chip in that spot because I didn't have enough for new ones everywhere. So I went ahead and made it so that I populated all 4 of the working memory positions with the original batch of memory that I got with this board, and everything else has been replaced. That keeps them all kind of matched. I don't know if they run off the same bus or different timings or any of that, so I just don't feel like having a problem like that sneak up on me and cause some weird problems. Memory timings are a thing. You can mix and match them, but you can't, but you can. You just got to do it right, and right is relative to what you're working on, and this is one of them things I don't feel like exploring right now. So, but our problem did move with that one chip that we moved. So here's hoping that one chip was just bad, and now this will boot up and be totally fine. Maybe for an entire week this time. That would be lovely. This time I'm gonna give it hope and make sure the screw is all the way in. It also needs a new power cord. I just noticed it's actually frayed. Yeah. Here, point you at the screen here. There we go. That looks much more appropriate. Warrior. There we go. Playfield bank. I don't see any garbage. That looks correct. I think it's supposed to disappear as I scroll them, right? Seems like it's behaving the way it should be, I think. I'm really not sure. Looks good, looks good. We got red, blue, green. Yep, okay. Let's turn off the track mode, or test mode. And go back into the game, and there we go. be fixed. Let's go ahead and put it back together. Get a new power cord on this before I put it back into service. And catch you all in the next one.